Blog Talk Radio.
It's a new thing that's sweeping the land when you don't know which way to go. The answer is Jesus and Elevation Radio.
God bless you. This is Elevation Radio 1, and I'm your host, Pastor Steve, the Music Man Turner, and we thank you for taking the journey with us. This is the program that spotlights positive people doing positive work while serving a positive God whose name is Jesus, and everybody ought to know about that. Okay, and so we want to again give honor to God, and I'm also doing this in the memory of my lovely wife, First Lady Leora Queen Turner, who passed away in August. Alrighty, and so our subject matter today is money-minded. Money-minded, and that's something that we need to talk about. Alrighty. All right. In Timothy, I believe, we return the book there. It says in Timothy, 1 Timothy 6 and 10, it states, the love of money is the root of all evil. We've heard that before. I'm going to break into it today. The characteristics, I say here, of the possessed, when they really are all about money all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, is person can be boastful, bragging about how much money they got. Brutal, trying to do anything, means they have to kill you to get the money that they think you have. No self-control. Will do anything, fall out, or make a fool of themselves, like you see on those shows like Fear Factor. You're going to eat stuff that you wouldn't even think about just to win $50,000. Wow. Then you have no pride, you have no consciousness, you have no self-esteem. Conceited. I've seen people, once they have money, you can tell that they think they all that in a bag of chips. Look down their nose at you. Treachery. Will plot and plan. It reminds me of a story of a woman who worked in a dollar store or something to that effect. She unfortunately made her coworkers aware that she had gotten some money, and the coworker actually called one of her friends, a boyfriend, and he got a couple other friends, thugs, and when the girl's walking home, they pulled up on her and shot her, robbed her, and took her money. Couldn't spend it, though, because they was in jail. Can't think fast. That's the problem with being money-minded. You can't think past what you want, the money. You can't think about the side effects and the after effects and how you really can't live to spend it unless you're going to be in the grave or you're going to be sitting in jail without bail. And it says in the definition of love of money, roots of all evil, disobedient to parents. Oh, my goodness. That's another story. Son was told by the father, your grades are slipping, so I need you to, do better. But Dad, I want an Xbox. It takes money to get the Xbox. And he, of course, wanted the father to give him money so he could go get the Xbox. The father said, no, I'm not going to do that. Go to bed. He waited till his father was asleep. Got his brother, younger brother, to do an alibi. He went upstairs in his father's room while he was asleep, killed him. Why? Because he couldn't get his hands on the money to get to the Xbox. Woo! What is our generation behind us coming to? That's a long introduction here. Using sex to get it. Oh, I will keep it real. Gotta keep it real. A lot of folks outside the church and sometimes inside the church, watch it, that will use sex to get it. Get the power, which leads to the money. Get the position, which leads to the money. Or just go straight for the money. Women will sleep with the pastor. Get him in trouble. Hold it over his head. And what's that word begins with an E? Embezzle him. so that he pays her to keep quiet. Good God Almighty, I tell you, it's real. Money-minded. Lust. That's another. It's not just food. It's not just sex. It's the lust for money. We'll travel across the country to go get the money. Matter of fact, folk will leave their home and go to L.A. and Minneapolis, Minnesota for the music industry in New York so they can get seen and discovered so they can what? Make tons of money. Lord have mercy. Haters of good. And I've discovered that once you have a substantial amount of money, there are things that are open to you that are not normally open to the poor and folks who got to go to work every Monday through Friday. When you get filthy rich, there are opportunities that exist for you that the regular folk don't know anything about. Private associations, private clubs, secret clubs only, where they're doing everything in there but worshiping God. I tell you. Now, the question is, are you in that roll call? Oh, my goodness. How can we change where we are to get to where Christ needs us to be? And the question really of the day, I hate to do it this way, the million-dollar question, do you really want to change? Do you just like the way you are? You know, well, heaven is some fictional story of a by-and-by situation. And, you know, I don't really know about that. Streets are paved with gold. I'm not sure if that's really happening. But I know I'm living right down here. Somebody said hell is right here. So if they're saying hell is right here, then heaven must be right here too, according to their philosophy. So they don't believe in the word. Matter of fact, the state of Utah, they don't allow the Bible to be quoted, looked at, or even brought into the school. Oh, my goodness. Aren't we in the last days because of wrong is right and right is wrong? But they will have grown, husky, hairy men in dresses and wigs and makeup, drag queens, which are, in other words, are transgender, teaching your kids how to be an effective homosexual. Woo! It's incredible. And no one finds anything wrong with it. And the state's attorney doesn't find anything wrong with it. The U.S. Attorney General doesn't find anything wrong with it. Oh, my goodness, because somehow your perverted behavior and the whispering spirits of the devil whispering to your spirit and your confusion, oh, my goodness, and your pain has caused you to be perverted. The only person who's excited about it is Satan. Because if you put God's creation, male and female, created he them, on the right, and Satan or Lucifer or Beelzebub or the Lord of Flies on the left, he's trying to mimic what God is doing. He can't because he's perverted. He got kicked out of heaven. Okay, so he's mad about it. So he wants to scar up the perfect image of what God has created. And male and female are perfect in his image, not the image of Satan, the image of God. Okay? And so anything that has to be created after what God has done, because God didn't create homosexuals. He didn't create lesbians. Oh, my goodness. He didn't create none of that stuff. Okay, that's Satan. He's demonic. He's perverted. He's angry. Yeah, only an angry person or an angry spirit would try to mess up what God has created perfectly. And so this is an alternative. And ain't no alternatives when it comes to salvation. It ain't no alternatives when it comes to the Word of God. It ain't no alternatives when it comes to love. And so somebody say, well, God is a God of love, and God is a God of acceptance. No, he's not. He has a standard. That's your junk. That's what you say. That's your philosophy. Because you got to make a way for yourself to do what you want to do. You're lying to yourself. And good God Almighty, I didn't really think about going this way, but I'm supposed to have a guest here today. I don't know where he is, Professor Warren Hill. So we're talking about music and other things in the money-minded topic. But since he's not here, then I'm going where I'm being led to go. Oh, my goodness. And the sub-theme is your purpose defined by your roots. Oh, it says, if love of money is the root of all evil, then is that your purpose? Is that all you deal with? Is that all you think about when you wake up in the morning, when you go to bed, all throughout the day? Are you think about how you can con somebody, how you can slick somebody out, how you can rob somebody, how you can get an invention to become a millionaire, become famous with your CD, making money, because the record industry is all about money. Oh, my goodness, and corporate America is all about money, and that's all it's about. Even legislation is all about money, from the lobbyists trying to legislate and influence legislators who are suckers for money. Oh, my goodness. And so, I can begin back to this LGBTQ, I can't get the numbers right, LBGTQ and sometimes Y. Let me say this. The rainbow is the promise that God made to Noah that he would not destroy the earth again by water. And so even though Noah is dead, God still put the rainbow in the sky to solidify their arrangement, what he promised, because he's a God that cannot lie. So if he's a God that cannot lie, then you have a God who is full of lies, which is Satan. And so if God has made male and female, and that image is even deeper than what he's made, because the man symbolizes Christ, the bridegroom, and the woman symbolizes his church, which is connotated in the female. So the bride of Christ is waiting for the bridegroom. That's for the rapture and things of that nature. And so Christ, my goodness, is not a perverted homosexual. No, not him, who has won thousands of battles, who's never lost a battle, who's holy. Holy means without sin, perfect in all his ways and doings. That's God. And the Son of God, made in his image. And so the only one that could come down here from 42 and 2 generations, from the seed of David, to take on the sins of the world, because God was tired of the blood of goats and bulls. We'd be killing animals until eternity. So he sent his son. He said, my own arm, the right arm of God is Christ, has brought me salvation. He can be up there and down here at the same time. And he can have a Christophany where he's actually here on earth materialized as he's done before. When he came back from being crucified, he walked with Mary in the garden, and she didn't know who he was. A Christophany, when he talked to Abraham and Sarah and told them that they were going to have a child, and many have entertained angels unawares. Trying not to go into the preaching side because I'm trying to be cool today. I got my virgin pina colada with whipped cream from Wawa's, and I feel pretty good today. I'm trying to be smooth. I'm not trying to get upset. I'm not trying to get emotional. I'm not trying to get fired up into the preaching mode. I want to be cool, like my friends, Reverend Ronald Wright, who's smooth down in Texas. Yeah, I'm trying to do it, but I don't know. And so, but you take a month that should be Black Music Month. Yeah. For all the contributions that we've done, for all the things that we have, all the famous artists, gospel artists, and my goodness, there's been so many. And then R&B artists and other artists, rock and roll and all that. And you move them to the side, good God Almighty, for some cross-dressing, pantyhose wearing dude with a hairy chin to wearing high heels and dressing up in nonsense and costumes. Okay, and the women trying to be men with a short haircut and all that nonsense. I got more men's clothes. That's why I can't find no men's clothes in the men's store, because they got it. Woo, stay out of there, please. God bless you. Can't you go somewhere else? Can't you, with your money-minded self, go somewhere else and have your own store? That's what I'm saying. Don't mix with us. Have your own stores. Have your own bathrooms. I'm just sick of it. And so I don't need to see it. It's offensive to me I'm just saying it's offensive. It's offensive because it's perverted. Lord have mercy. And so money-mindedness is perverted. And that's how really, we get right down to it. Since we opened the can, let's go all the way in. Predatory behavior, which is why some people say, well, man, music, man, Pastor Steve, why you don't like homosexuals? I didn't say I don't like them. Because they're comical, they're humorous, they're the life of the party. They want to be seen, okay? But what I'm saying, I hate the spirit that would take a good quality, talented, multi-talented individual and trick their mind and trick their spirit and wrap them up in nonsense to the point where they dancing in ballerina shoes and all that up and down. While you're a whole grown husky man, you're like a fool. It don't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. And while you have a chance to repent from this, because you wrong, you got evidence here in the Bible. Sodom and Gomorrah, as my good friend Dr. Wright said, Lot, when he was with Abraham, had a choice of where he wanted to live. He could have been with his uncle, Abraham, the anointed man of God, father of many nations, with a clear path to heaven, but no, he chose to go the other way and go down to Sodom and Gomorrah, where they're doing everything under the sun but worshiping God. Here's how perverted they were, that when they came to Lot's house, Lot offered them his daughters. And I dare say they probably was, pretty fine, attractive, hammers. But when you don't want the natural affection of a woman, and you'd rather be with a husky, stinking, hairy man, something is wrong with you. You got some mental issues. Think about it, okay? And if you dig back in your childhood, dig back somewhere along the line, you've been, it's been incest, it's been rape, it's been something going on. It's something that has happened to you, and you're traumatized, and you're brutalized, and you're in pain. And instead of dealing with the pain, before you get to the psychologist, before you get to the church and repent, and hopefully it didn't happen in there, a predator has come along and saw that you were weak, saw that you were wounded, saw that you were hurting, and decided that I'm gonna turn that person. And when they said turn, they thought they were saying turn to what they want to do, but they're really saying, they're gonna spirit saying turn from God. And I dare say that this is a dangerous scenario. But if you cry out to God, because I saw that on TV, Dateline, 2 lesbian lovers were going down to the beach to take a midnight stroll romantically, holding hands. But it was judgment time. And God strategically allowed a serial killer to be in that area and came and forced them by gunpoint down to the beach. And he shot her lover, blew her brains out. What amazed me was this lesbian was actually praying to God that I live, spare my life, that I don't want to die. And God heard her and did just that. And she lived to talk about it. But what I didn't see in the interview was for her to speak about God openly and tell the world that he saved my life. Now, I shouldn't do that. I don't know. And so I'm thinking about this. This does have a relevance. Football players, when they get to $1 million contract, they're selected. They get on the playing field. They get the mic in their face and all that. And this is relevant for Father's Day coming up in the money-minded scenario. All the money that the father has invested. He brought him first football. He told him what it was. He showed him which end to hold it in, how to throw it, and all that good stuff. Took him to games and all that. And when he gets a contract, a multi-million-dollar contract. He gets interviewed. He gets famous. He gets, the first person he thanks is not God. The first person he thanks is not his father. The first person he thanks is mama. Mama had to get money from the father to do and take him to games, to buy his uniform. That boy needs uniform. You got to go to the father to get it. They go and have, take the team out and have pizza. They got the money from the father in most cases. Okay. And so he's never thanked. Never appreciated. But the father is not an ATM, since we're talking about money-mindedness. He's not an ATM. He's not to be used or abused, played. Maybe I should say this for the fathers in the program. But as we define this piece here, do you want to change? Are you going to continue doing what you do while God is trying to purify us and trying to make us stronger? Because in Deuteronomy 2 and 3, it says that God had to tell the nation of Israel, who was in the desert complaining about what God gave them, manna from heaven. They didn't have no money, but God took care of them and fed them. Oh, my goodness, they had no money. But God didn't let the shoes rot as they walked for 40 years. Some folk had to die because they didn't have the right spirit. Complaining. They were used to luxury, or something, at least something what they thought was luxury, compared to what they were going through. That's what they thought in the desert. But God was feeding them. God was a pillar of fire at nighttime so they could see, a pillar of salt in the daytime so they could see. But it gave them an abundance, Brother Ravens feeding them, and they still weren't happy. Lord have mercy. So when you have all this money, Howard Hughes, a billionaire, had $1 billion, but he still wasn't happy. Oh my goodness, he was in places by himself. And then sometimes when they get to be famous and have a lot of money, then they wonder, are you trying to rap to me? Are you trying to see me? Are you trying to speak to me? Who is really about me, for me, or are they really trying to get to my money? Yeah, that's what you got to wonder about. It's a problem. And then you got to wonder, football players, because somebody's stealing my money. I know I had a contract. I was making millions of dollars, but after I retire, I ain't got no money because the agents and the booking agents and all those folks and the lawyers have stolen my money. You robbing your client. I mean, it happened here in Baltimore, where a famous lawyer here, I can't mention his name, even named a street after the dude because he was so gifted and so successful. But he lost all that because he was siphoning, stealing his client's money. Wow, no ethics. And so, money-mindedness would pervert a good thing. And I'm trying not to go here today, but in Baltimore, we can't keep any good people, especially when they're under a dictator. But you can't keep the good folks. Folks are leaving. We don't have a fire commissioner. We don't have a police commissioner and stuff down. But we still got to pay them until 2026 or something like that. $278,000. I mean, if you're money-minded and you really want to get a fat paycheck, you need to come on down here to Baltimore because the school, CEO, underperforming, can't keep air conditioners and heat in the school in the wintertime, kids getting shot up and all that stuff like this. You ain't got to do nothing much. Like she ain't doing nothing much, and you can get $432,000. You make more than the mayor, more than the city council for being inept. But you can do it here. Woo! And so somebody, there's a lot of different positions. DPW, Department of Public Works, needs a executive director, and they're paying him over $200,000. Oh my God! And so I'm just saying that you don't have to be smart, intelligent, or anything else to be here. So if I were you, I would just try to make my way down to Baltimore, because the people here just throw money away like it ain't. The mayor can't negotiate. He just throws money. They take money. They siphon money. They money launder. They do all kinds of stuff. Just money flows all kinds of places. And I forgot the Safe Streets person, Shantae Jackson, very vicious, very nasty person, has getting paid over $230,000 for doing absolutely nothing. The city is going down. There's nothing good happening. And you figure you get what you pay for, but not here. That's a colloquialism that doesn't work. All right, let's go. Let's go here. And let us, at least we know also money-mindedness doesn't help you when you take documents from the White House. And so I was amazed that Donald J. Trump, who's found his way to escape subpoena subcommittee hearings and all types of adjudication. However, this time, he said we're going to make sure that we prevent this dude from going back to the White House. Because if he gets back in this time, he might be successful. He almost worked. It almost worked. He would have probably had his. I think that's what he wanted the first time. His face on our money, so we could worship him. Nah, dude. Okay, 37 federal charges. At least 1 or 2 will stick. You're going to jail. Yes, indeed. And so, since you're worshiping your God has been money, maybe they take all this to get into worship the real one true God. Oh my goodness, it will take an orange jumpsuit to get you to do it. Let's see here. Where was I at here? And so, yeah, being money-minded is a problem. Well, okay, it's like God has turned the pages of my Bible without my knowledge. So we're going down to Psalms 12. No, we're going up. It says here, to the chief musician on an 8-stringed harp, a psalm of David. Since my musical guest, the Minister of Music, Minister Warren Hill, whose picture I promoted all week long, has not called me. I think he's down in South Carolina. And that's what I'm saying right now. So, as David said, help, Lord, for the godly man ceases. If you're money-minded, you can't be money-minded and got your mind on God. The two don't work. And so if you're money-minded, it'll make the God part in you stop. It'll run out. It'll be like a drought, like it is down here. We haven't had rain, so it's a drought. For the faithful disappear from among the sons of men. They speak idly, everyone with his neighbor, talking out your head. With flattering lips and a double heart they speak. They're speaking to hear themselves. They're speaking to say how smooth they are, how eloquent. And it's based on your reaction, they'll keep on going. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, and they'll just keep on saying what they got to say. And a lot of times they have no heart behind it. It's not real. It's insincere. It says, may the Lord cut off all flattering lips. Because some people will flatter you to get to your money. Didn't you know that? They're not real. They want you to spend money on them. You know, you got it. Yeah. Matter of fact, I've heard women brag about how they were able to work a man for his money. And so it says, and the tongue that speaks proud things, who have said, with our tongue, we will prevail. Matter of fact, I heard a pastor do that. He doesn't raise money for the offering. He gets one of his pastoral friends because he has a gift for a gift for speaking to the audience, especially the women, and talk them out of their purses and pocketbooks and their rent money. So he puts him up to do the offering every time. And so they can all go back and rejoice and relax with your money. That's why I can see them sitting in fancy restaurants together, wearing $500 suits and comparing the price of suits. What they say, I spent $500 for mine. Well, I spent $550 for mine. Bragging about it. Okay, ain't got no job because they milk the women of the church. Money minded. Mine is on getting ahead. It's lying and stealing. And I saw a video that says we're a committee. I was in a church having a church meeting, and they said, we pay tithes, but pastor, do you pay any tithes? Woo! And the pastor said, don't ask me my business. I'm taking care of the church. They say, we understand that, but we're asking you, do you, pastor, bishop, apostle, do you actually pay tithes? And he says, don't ask me listen, I ain't got to say nothing. If you don't like what I'm doing, I'm out of here. So he quit the church instead of confessing that he didn't do nothing. Okay. Wow. My goodness. And I can also say that many occasions they don't, if people are paying tithes and the overflow is going to the head, it's supposed to come down to the body, Aaron's beard, but it never gets past the head. I know that's true, because after all those years I was playing music, as a minister of music, head musician, and the organist and all that, a lot of money don't flow to me. Okay, it flows past me. It stays locked up in the trustee room. I don't know where it is, but I get a farthing, a little small portion, where I can't take care of my family with it. My goodness, and so, matter of fact, I make as much probably as a pizza driver from Pizza Hut, still only get $10 an hour for 40 hours a week, and I've been doing this for 50-some years. It's a shame, but no one even gives an extra, blessing. Here, go on for your birthday, get something. Nothing. Mm-mm. Matter of fact, I don't even speak to you after service unless they want you to play a song. Can you learn this song? So yeah, you can't be in it for the respect, the glory, the money, the appreciation is just not there. It wasn't there in the Bible when the Levites went on strike, and Nehemiah had to figure out, well, how come we can't get no music for the declaration of the temple? Well, because musicians went on strike, because the rulers didn't give them what they promised. So he had to go and speak comfortably with them. I wish some leaders would speak comfortably to the Levites, the modern-day Levites, now, instead of just hoarding up everything for yourself. Oh, my goodness. And then there's some pastors who are preaching, going to visit the sick, going to do great things for the people, hearing their problems and bailing them out of jams and all that kind of stuff, and paying their rent and mortgage and all that. And the church won't give them nothing but grief and complaints. My goodness. And so, we need to honor those who deserve honor. And then some, it says, deserve double honor. Oh, my goodness. And so it says here, when they talk with their tongue, that they will prevail. We don't need God. We don't need anybody. We smooth. We rapid. We got our stuff together. It says, our lips are our own. Who is Lord over us? That sounds like a person that's been injected with a big paycheck. You got to watch yourself. You got to watch that, when you get a nice job, got a couple of zeros, maybe 3 or 4 behind the comma, that you don't lose your mind. You don't start acting crazy. That you don't think you're above everybody else. And so, oh, my goodness. Matter of fact, I can be honest about it, because I was working for, I think it was Stewart Enterprises, and I was in a high-ranking position in charge of all the sales directors for Loudon Park Cemetery and every other cemetery under Stewart Enterprises. And I was in the upper echelon, executive offices. You're up there when you got cherry red furniture and all that. Yeah, and so I had a white female secretary, and I lost myself for a second. I thought I had arrived. And I started talking differently. And I said, Mr. Turner, how do you feel today? I'm feeling fine today. Thought I was in Britain somewhere. And so thank God for somebody who, another black gentleman, coworker, below me in terms of employment status, but he looked at me and said, you was a good guy, but let me help you, because your head has gotten too big. Let me tell you, you know who that white secretary is. And I said, no, I do not. He said, it is your boss's wife. And my eyes were like, oh, my God. He said, yeah. And so she's reporting back everything you do. Now, how do you think about that, Mr. Executive? I said that like a balloon had been popped and it said, come on back down to earth. Yeah, thank God for that. And so never be high-minded. Never think you're more than what you're supposed to be. And money can't do that to you. All right. And so it says, in verse 5 here in Psalms 12, for the oppression of the poor, for the sighing of the needy sigh because they don't have. And you waste money, you waste products, and you waste your success when you could actually give it to the poor and the needy. Yeah, all of millions of dollars that are being wasted by the mayor on his school projects. he calls city projects to both be helping curfews and all that nonsense. Wasting food in these centers. Kids ain't showing up. Millions of dollars they charge the taxpayers. We didn't ask for that nonsense. He don't know what he's doing. Okay. That money, if he had given it to the poor, which some of them were at one time were sitting out front of the city hall, he walked right by them in his chauffeured limousine or chauffeured cars. He really don't care. He's all about himself. And most of them down there, anyway, in City Hall, City Council, all about themselves anyway. They don't care about the poor or needy. But God is going to bring it back to your attention. And you have to be accountable for what you have done. Okay? And it says here, now God says, I will arise. I will set him in the safety for which he yearns. So you don't have to treat the poor, right? Yeah, keep on messing up over the needy. God himself will rise up and do it. He'll take care of his poor and needy. It says, for the poor, you'll always have with you. And he'll do that himself at your expense, Mr. Mayor, city council, peoples, okay, delegates, state senators. The words of the Lord are pure words, like silver tried in a furnace of earth, fortified 7 times. You shall keep them, O Lord. Ye shall preserve them from this generation forever. It means he's going to protect them from these uncontrollable, unmerited, dislikable, hateful, brutal, treacherous individuals who love money and want to step on the poor. Oh, yeah. The wicked prowl on every side. That means they're predators. Looking for how can I get more money? How can I squeeze it? $1 out of 15 cents. How can I use my influence to get more stocks and bonds, more money so I can put it in my Cayman Island account? Yeah. And so it says, when vileness is exalted among the sons of men, and so filthiness and just foul, ungodly behavior. Yeah, I must be hitting a chord because my computer just went blank. And so it's all right. We know every time when we have hit on Satan's big toe. So let us go to a commercial. And I would play music, but I can't see it. It's going to be all right. And so on June 19th, Juneteenth, everybody, say that with me, Juneteenth. Oh, my goodness, it's going to be a revolution. Oh, I know folks that are going to be blowing whistles. Oh, my goodness. And whistle blowing will be the air of the day. Where would the whistle blowing be done? At Tori's Soul Food Restaurant at 7V Street, Northwest D.C., and right off New York Avenue, right across from Howard University. You need to get there, and it's at 8:30 in the morning. How will you get there? You won't be getting let in if you don't go to the Eventbrite and go under Healthy DC and me and under the Blow the Whistle prayer breakfast and press conference. Oh, yes. And so let me tell you what's happening. Somebody say what's happening. Let me tell you what's going on. Is the Right Reverend Ronald Wright, oh, yeah, from Texas, CEO of the Justice Seekers USA, and an advocate for those who are under dialysis. My goodness. Will be here in D.C. As a keynote speaker. And so this is sponsored by NAN, National Action Network, and also under Healthy D.C. and Me, under Dr. Rhonda Hamilton, who ran for mayoral candidate. And so that's important. And you need to know that. And so there will be networking, there will be fellowshipping, music, heavenly music, if I might add, will be provided by the 2023 Newsom Gospel Award winner. That is Lady Dyra, the Fire Wolf. Oh, I should be in the house. Tearing up stuff. You've never heard her. I featured her on this program. She's even better in person. You're going to get messed up. You might as well bring a box of tissues with you, along with your business cards, because they're going to tear you up. And so after you cry and get put back together by Pastor Wright, we'll feed you. It's going to be exciting. Oh, my goodness. And yours truly, someone told me, an old head, because I've been doing music for a long time, that I will be assisting her accompanying her on the keyboard. Yeah. And so that's pretty fantastic. So lots of heavy hitters in the house. Lots of folks from Virginia and D.C. and Maryland in the house. And some folks coming up from down south because they want to be in the house. This is a hot program. Man, I tell you, if you miss this, you can't blame me because I told you. I told you about it. And after I get finished doing the prayer breakfast and networking and fellowshipping and getting words of inspiration, they will adjourn and go to a federal building, which they will tell you, and do a press conference. All media will be there, national, local, and municipal. And you need to have your face in the place. Keynote speakers will be there. And so talking about blowing the whistle. I don't have a whistle, on the abuse of dialysis. And let me talk about that for a second. In the old days, slavery days, used to pick cotton, use us to pick cotton and make money. We were making money, we weren't participating in any money. And they built kingdoms and estates off of our backs. But today, with the food deserts and the 95 grams of soda and fried chicken everywhere you can look in the hood, we have become the new cotton. The Vita centers and others are multi-billion-dollar industries making about $4,000 a quarter on those who have Medicare. Lord have mercy. And if you don't have it, they'll even try to take your house to keep you getting treatment, which of course is life and death. And so that's another. They will educate you on what this is all about, what many folks have endured, what some folks are still going through, and how the oppression of trying to get treatment and trying to get respected, be treated like a human being, is hard in one of these dialysis centers. You didn't know that, but they're going to blow it open. They're going to let you know what's happening. And I know for a fact that you won't be able to handle it. You're going to get upset. You mean to tell me my auntie was going through all that? You mean to tell me my father is dealing with this nonsense? Oh, yeah, it's going to be a revolution. Oh, yeah, because it's like a vulnerable adult abuse. It's almost like nursing home abuse. Yeah. So if you don't like that, you ain't going to like this. All right, let's also go into August 11th. The Mighty Newsom Gospel Awards will be in town at the Patapsco Arena at 7 p.m. And Teresa Harvey will be the hostess and main MC. And there's lots of programming being planned for artists around the country, international models, awards given for philanthropists and activists and local clergy, business people, pastors. It's a night of celebration. It's a black and gold affair. It's 5-star, baby. And I know you want to be there, but you can't be there. Oh, my goodness. If you don't, actually call me at 1-410-302-2737, 1-410-302-2737 to get your vendor spots, which are going on half price, to get your magazine ads, which are going at half price. If you talk to me, the National Sales Director, it'll be at half price. You'll save some money. Yeah, and you can do some other things like, reward yourself. Give something to you. Treat your mother. Treat your father. Treat your uncle, your grandmother. You may even want to pay some tithes. Wow. It's awesome. Or invest in your children, your grandchildren. Yeah, you'll have some money to save if you talk to me. I do also doing group sales and all that good stuff. And any sponsors or corporations that are listening, that will listen, that may be referred to, if you want to give back to the community and get a table for those who are less fortunate, so they don't have money, but they can come out and enjoy themselves at this event, this glorious event, call me at 1-410-302-2737. You got a surplus of taxes. You may have a surplus of profit. Then give back to the community. Help the poor and the needy to have a night out and enjoy themselves. Can't you do that? Don't you have a heart? Oh, y'all, is your mind all about money and what you can do for yourself? Stop being selfish and help somebody else. Good God Almighty. All right. And so, shout out to Chef Fatima. Get that name in your mind, Chef Fatima. I think that's 1026 South Charles Street. Sweet peas, and that's sweet, W-E-E-T, peas, P-E-A-Z, soul food. She does catering. Oh, it's impressive. And the food is, I don't know which is better, the soul food or actually seeing Chef Fatima, because she's gorgeous. Food is outrageous. The atmosphere is cool. And by all means, I recommend the passion fruit lemonade and the green herbal tea, mint tea. That's what it is. When you mix those two together, woo, you got something right there. Take my word for it. I have sufficiently dined there, and the best time to go down there is Sunday. Yeah, after church. It's incredible. All right. Matter of fact, if you see me there and you recognize me, and you say, "Hey, Mrs. Man, thank you." Maybe you can treat me to a sweet potato pie. They sell sweet potato pie, country, old-fashioned, and peach cobbler. Oh, my goodness. You may have to be carried out. We have to carry 911 for you and carry you out of there. All that good food. I tell you, it's incredible. And so check them out. Matter of fact, their website is www.sweet.peas.com. God bless you. And so, yeah. And so we have to give out an SOS, a search for Minister Warren Hill. I don't know what happened to the brother. Long-time friend of mine. Hope he's okay. He's going down to South Carolina. Hope he made it down safely. And because he would never not have an opportunity to minister, and especially meant to minister freely at my expense. Yes, indeed. And so, let's see here. And so in Psalms 13, I have to keep reading until they tell me to stop because I can't see the computer screen. It says here, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, how long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long shall I take counsel in my soul, having sorrow in my heart daily? How long will my enemy be exalted over me? And this is David, a man after God's own heart, king of Israel, which means he was wealthy. But when your soul is hurting, when you're depressed, when you're lonely, money don't really matter. And money is the last thing on your mind. Consider and hear me, O Lord my God. Enlighten my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death. Lest my enemies say, I have prevailed against him. Oh, my goodness. And you have enemies when you have money, and they'll wonder why you got it. They didn't get it. What makes you so special? And if you don't have it, you say, look how poor he is. Look at, he ain't got nothing. Yeah, it's pitiful. So it says, let those who trouble me rejoice when I am moved. But I have trusted in your mercy. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I wish somebody wanted salvation. Oh, my God. People want to get laid out. Goodness. But people want positions. Oh, my goodness. But no one wants to have salvation. In this month of June, they want rights so that the lesbians and homosexuals and transgenders, and they want you to say a pronoun above their name. So they're trying to tell you what to do with the English language. Who are you to dictate to the rest of us about what you want? Who do you think you are? So that's the problem I have also, because when you get into that level of sin, the level of abomination, okay, you begin to take on the characteristics of your father, which is Satan. Pride. He's jealous of God. He wanted to replace God. That's pride. Abstract abomination, abstract ego and arrogance. And he got his butt kicked out of heaven. So this is what happens when you allow the dark god of death, the god of lies, to infiltrate your mind and your spirit, become like him. And so you begin to talk foolishly. Talk like you ain't got no sense. Disrespecting of your father, disobedience to parents. Your father is God. Good God Almighty. And so you need to respect him and honor him and worship him, and not worship the other guy, who now becomes your stepfather, Satan. And a father who don't pay child support, a father who is not doing the right thing, a father could really care less about you, kill and destroy you, but you're too ignorant to understand what he's trying to do to you. And so you run to him and you believe in his lies he weaves and spells for you. And so you allow the natural affection of your own body to be turned aside, and it could be 7 glorious-looking women that come by you and want them, but you take a husky-looking, knock-kneaded, ugly, toothless nigga, a man. What kind of nonsense is this? You don't think you had a mental problem? So now you want to attach. You've attached yourselves to civil rights, which when I was the 3rd vice president of the NAACP here, and then the 2nd vice president, and then I got down to the 1st vice president, I probably would have made it to be president, but I had to ask. I asked the question: do I have to represent? Do I have to recognize? Oh my God! Do I have to recognize these characters here who are making up stories about themselves and weaving fairy tales? And it's Halloween and 365 days of the year. Do I have to do that? We have to honor that situation? And I was told, yes, you got to honor them. They have civil rights. I said, who gave it to them? Because I was born black. I didn't have a say in it. I didn't have a suggestion. I didn't really have an alternative. I couldn't turn myself white. Couldn't turn myself Mexican. I had to stay where I was. And so I just came out like this. And so why do I have to attach what my grandfathers and what my mothers, blood they shed and died, shot and wounded and hung up and lynched, and had their pregnant women had their babies pulled out while they were alive? Why should I allow what our fathers have earned and forefathers have earned? Who let them in to attach themselves like legions to what we have fought for? They ain't earned nothing. No, they don't deserve it. Deserve nothing. That's your personal sexual preference. Okay, you need psychological therapy. You don't need no rights for me, for my people. No. Whew. And so it's all in the news. It's all in the retail. It's all in the Target is trying to do advertising and doing transgender advertising and all that. Anheuser-Busch and all that. It ain't no new day. Listen, people don't want that. Regular folk don't want that. What they do want is for you to get your mind right, get the therapy you need, and you start being a contributing person to society. And start, if you're a man, take the dress off. How about that? Get the mascara off your face, okay, and start acting like a real man. Yeah, and this is the month of fatherhood, not queerhood, okay? Don't disrespect what God has put in the earth for your nonsense, because you're working against God. You're the enemy of God. And I don't think that Father's Day Black Music Month should be overshadowed by a crayon-colored queer box of toys. No, not so. I don't care what law is said. I don't care who made it. I don't care who endorsed it. God said it's an abomination, and that's what it is. Yeah. Who report shall we believe? Somebody's saying, I shall believe the report of the Lord. Yeah. So if you don't like this, then you ain't got to never listen to this program. Yeah, but it'll be true. The word of God is true, and let every man be a liar. And that's what's happening. Senators are liars. Congressmen are liars. The president who allowed these two women, lesbian women, to steer his mind to make a national law is a liar. Not because the music man said so, because God said so. Go look at Romans 8 and read that, okay, and see what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah. Here's what made God real angry. He allowed them to exist. He allowed them to flow. They thought they was doing something. They thought they was all that in that bag of chips. But when they came to Lot's house, a mob of homosexuals, angry homosexuals, wanted. They said they knew that Lot had some good-looking men in his house. The predators came out. Say the freaks come out at night. That's what they came out. They came out and became violent, because homosexuals are violent people, violent entities. Why are they violent? Why are they trying to assault a woman who was in the sports world and said that the transgender male should not be in the same swim team? And they, in San Francisco, when she made a speech, they tried to attack her and hurt her, as she had to be protected, because if it was right, if it was natural, as you claim, you lying demon, then you wouldn't have to be physically and violently about it. But because you have demons in you, you can't be controlled because you're possessed. You're obsessed with demons. Okay, all demons are violent, and that's what you are. You're displaying whose God you serve. That's what you're displaying. And so that's what I'm saying. So it's a sad day. A sad day. Well, for me at my house, when I got left here, I am not going to worship a rainbow flag. No, sir. I'm not going to worship money, and I'm not going to worship anything that don't belong to God. Matter of fact, there's a song, I remember. I belong to God. I belong to God. I wish that somebody else would say it. From the top of my head to the soles of my feet, I belong to God. I need to sing these old songs instead of dealing with this club music. It's supposed to be church music, because somebody didn't pay somebody dollars to switch it and alter it around, because somebody sold their soul to Satan in the recording industry for money. We don't need it. Lord have mercy. Is in any holiness can God find a righteous person anywhere on this earth? Whew. All right, I'm through. So this has been another Elevation Radio 1 moment. You may not like it, but this is what I got to give you. Go ahead and think about it. Go ahead and drink some flavored water, eat some crackers, sit your butt down. And if anyone needs prayer, I'm sure we all do, call me at 1-855-393-3232, 1-855-393-3232. That's the 24-hour toll line, prayer line. I'm calling for no mess now, because it's not going to work. For Destiny Changers Deliverance Center, Destiny Changers Deliverance Center. Oh, my goodness. I can almost hear my wife say, go ahead, baby. Let them know. I hear a shout from heaven. All right. It's been a real moment. Keep your heads up. Keep your heads up. Keep your heads up. It won't be long now. We're in the last days. God bless you.